Graham Dawson's Big Nipper would become a top-tier robot for 13 years with a completely unique design, but her debut as a plain box featuring a pair of lifting claws and a campaign cut short by the eventual champions Razor in the Fifth Wars could easily be forgotten. Big Nipper took a big leap forward for the Seventh Robot Wars, featuring 8-wheel drive, 10mm titanium, and a much more advanced claws setup that enabled them to switch between crushing and lifting. Unearthly intervention from beyond the grave kept Big Nipper from much televised success after a close heat final against the more conventional Grim Reaper, but after the original run of Robot Wars ended, Big Nipper would become one of the most successful robots on the UK live scene. Big Nipper really came into its own in the mid-2000s. It was ideally suited to carrying robots into the open pits or even occasionally over the low arena walls that characterized the arenas of this time. This enabled them to place third in the 2004 and 2006 UK Championships. In the latter tournament, Big Nipper added an interchangeable anti-spinner plow, which was so tough that it sheared one of the teeth from its opponent's Scorpion's disc. This caused an arena breach that got spinners banned from the UK for over a decade. In 2007, Big Nipper took that final step and overcame Terahertz to become a UK champion. And in 2012, they'd do it again against Maelstrom. The UK live scene is generally all about the flippers, but Big Nipper went their own path, and in fact, it's the only double UK champion without a pneumatic weapon. Not one to be left behind, for the new wave of robot combat in 2016, they had adopted brushless motors and an interchangeable vertical spinner for the Robot Wars reboot, but Big Nipper's return to TV ended up being a bit of a disappointment. Flippers Dan Tomkier and TR2 got the better of them in the 8th Wars, and Big Nipper was outright rejected from the 9th. Big Nipper was very under the radar going into Series 10, not really given a second thought in their Heat of Death, which featured Aftershock, Eruption, and the mighty reigning champion Carbide. An early round 1 knockout reduced them to a bit of a footnote in the fantastic clash between Gabriel and Carbide, and the focus was on Aftershock going into the redemption rounds. Big Nipper was matched up against Clusterbot, Crackers and Smash in the redemption rounds, and it was here they showed us just how far they'd come. Big Nipper launched Smash sailing high over the arena wall, even taking out some of the lights along the way. This is probably the highest a robot has ever flown in the Robot Wars arena, and in what's supposed to be the Flipper show, it was Big Nipper's, up to this point seemingly pretty innocuous spinner that did this. Big Nipper had shown it packed a serious punch, but a loss to Eruption forced it to fight for a place in the 10 Robot Rumble against the Robot Wars vert, Aftershock. And yet, it was Big Nipper that proved the more powerful and more durable machine, achieving a quick knockout. In just 2 fights, Big Nipper had secured its place as one of the big dogs or beetles of modern Robot Wars. A short World Series appearance would be the last we saw of Big Nipper, but the machine is certainly one to remember. It's delivered one of the biggest hits and one of the biggest upsets in Robot Wars history, and achieved an honourable mention in the Robot Combat Hall of Fame, not to mention 2 UK championships. Big Nipper was a machine unlike any other, and proof that an unorthodox design can win titles if it's as well engineered as this Lancashire legend.